This video is really a quick recap video of what we talked about so far. Formula so far, this unit, we've talked about simple interest, and that formula is, we use a capital I for that. Simple interest is equal to the principal times the rate in years times the time, the yearly rate, and the time is in years as well. Total amount, so that's again back to simple interest. The total amount in simple interest is equal to the principal plus the interest. So you could write the principal plus the interest, or instead of interest, you could write this formula down here, or you could write it with the factored P, which leaves you with 1 plus R times T. Those are all different formulas for simple interest. And then the newest one is compound interest, when you're talking about the future value of your money or your investment. And that formula is A equals P, principal, bracket 1 plus, now this is a lowercase I, for the interest rate per compounding period, and then N. And down here at the bottom we have a reminder of what these, N is the number of compounding periods, I is the interest rate per compounding period, and then A, and we have this new PV is present value. So let's talk about that. One small change from the formula, the previous formula we did, meaning this one right here, one small change is we can replace the P with a PV. And that the only reason that we do that is to kind of specify if we're talking about the present value. So the principal, the amount you initially put in, is also the present value as opposed to the future value of your investment. So we're going to continue to use that formula today, this one here that we have from before, but we just are putting a PV in here. It doesn't matter to me when you're doing a test if you put a P or a PV there, but your textbook uses both. So we'll often be looking to solve for the present value. So we need PV to be isolated. What that means, if I go back up to this equation here, A equals PV 1 plus I, and let's say you don't know the principal or the amount that you're investing in the first place. You don't know the present value. To isolate it, you would divide both sides by 1 plus I to the power of N, 1 plus I to the power of N. These would cancel, and you would be left with this formula down here. Or if you don't like the fraction, you could take the whole denominator and you could make the exponent a negative and move it up like that if you want to. When memorizing the formula for the test, it may be easier to memorize the original formula. This is the only one I have memorized. This is supposed to be lowercase I here. This is the only one I have memorized. And I just rearrange it whenever I need to. If I'm isolating for P, I rearrange it. But you can memorize all of them if you want. When you're doing your homework, make sure to understand what the question is asking. Are you looking for the present value, the future value, or the interest rate? So just read carefully to make sure that you are following the instructions in the question, whatever it is that they're asking for. And that's the only thing I'm going to talk about in this video, because that's only the real new change here, right? It's just one small change, and that is to use a PV instead of a P, and to isolate the formula if you need to. But that's all there is to this. There are plenty other examples that you can look up in the textbook or in other videos if you want to see some more examples of how to use these formulas. But that's the gist of the lesson for today.